Trinity family. Hope you're having a good weekend so far, and a happy Saturday to you. I think we can all look outside and breathe a huge sigh of relief. It looks like spring might actually indeed happen this year, so we're thankful for these things. Anyway, today I have the privilege of leading us in a little devotional, and today's passage comes from 2 Corinthians. If you want to read on your own, I would suggest that you read 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16, all the way through into chapter 5, verse 10. Love for you to read that whole passage today if you have the opportunity. But today I'm just going to focus in on the first two verses of that. 2 Corinthians 4, 16 and 17. Well, why don't I read it all first, and then we'll kind of walk through it phrase by phrase. So here's the passage. Therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Again, phrase by phrase. We'll start with the first one. Therefore, we do not lose heart. The word therefore, and that phrase, we do not lose heart, notice that that's not a command. It's not saying do not lose heart. It's just a statement of is. We do not lose heart. And you kind of wonder, why? Well, what's the therefore? Therefore, you'd have to go up just a couple verses ahead of that to see what Paul is talking about in context. Is he doesn't lose heart because he has this amazing promise of resurrection. And this is a good thing for us to remember at any time, but hey, we're barely a week out of Easter, and Easter is all about Jesus' resurrection and the resurrection promises that we get through him. And so we don't have to lose heart. The next phrase, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Outwardly we are wasting away. You know, I kind of have to laugh. Some of us are probably looking a little ragged right now in our COVID lockdown. You probably are overdue for a haircut and whatever else you need to do to kind of look prim and proper. But, you know, there's a tiredness that comes with it too. For those who are working, they're probably working a little extra. Maybe you're working overtime to cover because of staff shortages. Others have other kinds of stress in their life, even at the best of times, and it wears us down. And hey, let's just remember, like as humans, all of us are aging, and we are outwardly wasting away as the years go by. The ancient people used to have a term for that. They would call it corruptibility. In a sense, we are becoming more and more corrupt, and not in that moral sense, but just breaking down as the years go by. But inwardly, yet inwardly, we are being renewed day by day. That sounds kind of nice, and I think that's a goal for us spiritually. And there are some vibrant believers that I know who are older in age, but so alive in the Spirit. But perhaps the question for all of us is, well, how does that happen, or what empowers that? And that's what comes next in verse 17. So let me read that for you again. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Light and momentary troubles? Really? We don't all have light and momentary troubles, at least they don't feel that way, whether that's right now or other times of our life. I've met a lot of people who have had life situations that are kind of like the Old Testament guy Job, just a lot of disaster. Even just this past week I've heard of different people who have had some really crushing circumstances around their life that's heartbreaking. Can we call them light and momentary troubles? Perhaps. It's a bit of a perspective thing. And by perspective, I'm not really saying, you know, when you look back at it, the problems are actually smaller than they appeared. No, the problems probably are as big or bigger than they appear. It's just that in eternal glory, everything else is going to get so much bigger, which will give us the ability, perhaps, to say that all these things that we're going through right now are, in essence, light and momentary compared to the eternal glory that far outweighs them all. I love that, the eternal glory that far outweighs them. Not in a little bit, by a whole lot. This reminds me, actually there's an essay written by C.S. Lewis called The Weight of Glory that comes right out of this particular verse. Wonderful essay. I've mentioned it recently in some sermons. It's a beautiful thing. When we think about this eternal glory that we have, this promise of resurrection, we can look forward to it. Let me take you on a thought experiment. A few months ago, we were living what we call normal life. As we got into this COVID lockdown, we started yearning for getting back to normal. We wanted kind of to figure out a new normal in this situation. But I know that for a lot of us, as we kind of progress through this, we actually don't want things to go right back to normal, because we realize that our old normal wasn't altogether healthy to begin with. And we might make some good positive changes in this time that we want to keep going. So we would want to have a better normal. I mean, these things are things that we're learning along the way. And I guess I'm just saying, we can scarcely imagine it. Language is maybe stretched to use it. But this eternal glory that we have as a promise to look forward to is a normal that's just, it's so much more beyond. It's beautiful. Can't wait to get there. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Amen. Thanks for joining me today. Hope that's encouraged you. We'll see you tomorrow at church.